Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about adaptive thermogenesis, which is a natural process that the body undergoes in order to match the amount of calories that it burns in relations to the amount of calories coming in. This is one of two main reasons why people struggle to lose weight. The number one reason, non-compliance. We're not really going to talk about non-compliance. We're going to talk about adaptive thermogenesis because this is a concept that not many people experience unless they've been dieting for a long time, they're highly active, or they've been doing this fitness bit, they've been on this journey for a long time, and they're struggling to lose weight. They're not where they want to go. And one particular case I want to illuminate is my client. He's 56 years old. For all intents and purposes, he works out every single day. He works out every chance that he gets. I would guess he probably burns at least 1,000 calories through exercise alone. He plays basketball for an hour and a half to 2 hours during lunch. He might play hockey 1 or 2 nights a week. He might play volleyball one or two nights a week. He trains 2 to 3 times a week. He goes home, walks on a treadmill on a 15-degree incline at 3.5 to 4 miles an hour almost every single day, hour and a half to 2 hours while either watching the news or watching the game. He's burning a lot of calories. And his typical day in terms of nutrition, he's been doing this for years. For breakfast, he might have either a power bar or a protein shake or a Siggy's yogurt, which is 150 calories. So he'll probably have 150 calories for breakfast. For lunch, he'll probably have something similar in terms of size, maybe 150, 200 calories. And sometimes dinner is a small serving of protein and vegetables. He's probably eating less than 1,200 calories on a normal day, yet he's burning more than 1,200 calories through exercise. And then on top of that, we have to take into account that your body needs a certain amount of calories in order to maintain survival functions. And for somebody who's 56, about 200 pounds, his body probably needs about 1,500 calories just to survive. If we were to look at his 24-hour period, he probably needs 2,800 calories just to maintain his body weight, including all of the exercise, yet he's probably eating less than half of that in terms of nutrition. He's having a hard time losing weight. And worse yet, whenever he eats something a little bit off his normal regimen, such as a dinner that might be a little bit bigger, he'll gain 3-5 pounds overnight. Is that water? Is that fat? I think it's probably a combination of both, because we can safely assume from a scientific standpoint that his body is in what's called starvation mode, and starvation mode is another name for adaptive thermogenesis. When you decrease the amount of calories that you bring in, your body is naturally going to burn less, because evolutionarily speaking, the body will interpret less calories coming in as a shortage of food. And when you have a shortage of food, what do you think the body's naturally going to do? It's going to start conserving energy. It's not unlike having a budget. If you're making less money from work, you're probably going to spend less. I mean, that's what you should do if you want to keep more money in the bank or preserve as much money. The body is no different. In his case, he's been doing it for years and years and years. So this adaptive thermogenesis process has been going on for a very long time. When adaptive thermogenesis actually kicks in is different for everybody, but in his case, he's probably at the max of adaptive thermogenesis. Whenever he eats something a little bit different, maybe has a little bit more salt or a little bit more sugar, he's going to blow up. He's going to get bloated because the body's going to detect that increase in calories and do everything that it could possibly can to conserve it, to hold on to it, because the body doesn't know when it's going to get food next. And what makes the matter even more worse is that this particular client is scared to death of gaining weight. That 5 pounds, he doesn't like seeing the number on the scale go up. So then what does he do? He just continues going down that rabbit hole of adaptive thermogenesis, and it's just going to be like that for probably the rest of his life, because adaptive thermogenesis process can be as permanent or as impermanent as you want it to be. The solution to that is simply increasing the amount of calories that he eats. He'll gain weight. But in order for his metabolism to repair, or in order for his body to get out of this adaptive thermogenic state, he needs to bring up the amount of calories, because the increase in calories, the same way that a decrease in calories will decrease his metabolic rate, will increase his metabolic rate. So if he eats more, his body will burn more over time. Right away, it may not, because an increase in calories is a shock to the body, especially if he's been in a calorie deficit for 10, 15 years. Also, I want to mention, if you have struggled with your weight when you were younger, when you were a child, an adolescent, a teenager, you're most likely going to struggle with the weight for the rest of your life. So if you've been overweight or you've had a pudge for as long as you remember, you're probably going to have some sort of pudge or a weight issue for the rest of your life. And that is really the dark side of genetics. You could thank your parents, grandparents, your ancestors for that. I'm just kidding. Don't thank them. Well, thank them because they gave life to you and you're great. The best way around this adaptive thermogenesis is to bite the bullet, swallow your pride, gain the weight, and get stronger and get more energy. That's really the only effective, proven way to get out of adaptive thermogenesis. Of course, this doesn't apply to everyone because from an emotional standpoint, somebody might never be able to accept the fact that they'll gain weight. But that means that they're okay with not losing additional weight in expense for having a momentary lapse of weight gain. And of course, my client has a couple of other issues going on with him in terms of sleep. He doesn't sleep. He drinks like 60 ounces of coffee. He drinks more coffee than he drinks water. He doesn't really sleep very much. But from a mathematical standpoint, from a calorie standpoint, he is at a drastic calorie deficit. And he's been at it for years, which is what's sending his body into a weight loss tailspin. So that is the concept of adaptive thermogenesis in kind of a 7-minute nutshell. I hope you found this helpful. If you're struggling with your weight loss and you need a little bit more information about this, or you want to talk to me a little bit more about it, let me know. I'm here to help you. And I would love your feedback.